Welcome to Nature Walk, the podcast where we explore the wonders of the natural world and delve into the latest discoveries that shape our understanding of the environment. I'm your host, David, and I'm delighted to share with you today's fascinating story. As we take a stroll through the UK, we often find ourselves surrounded by beautifully manicured gardens, teeming with life and vibrant colours. However, beneath the surface, a rather surprising reality lies hidden. A recent study conducted by the Royal Horticultural Society has revealed that nearly half of the UK's garden space is paved over, leaving little room for nature to thrive. Imagine walking through a typical suburban neighbourhood, where row upon row of houses boast immaculately maintained front gardens, often covered in concrete decking or artificial grass. It's a sight that's both familiar and, quite frankly, unsettling. The RHS study found that a staggering 42% of domestic garden space is paved over, with 55% of front gardens and 36% of back gardens succumbing to the trend. But what are the consequences of this widespread paving? For one, it reduces the space available for nature to flourish, pushing out the very creatures that call our gardens home. It also exacerbates flooding, as water has nowhere to go but into our already strained drainage systems. And let's not forget the impact on the urban heat island effect, where paved surfaces absorb and retain heat, making our cities feel like ovens during the summer months. Now, you might be wondering what's being done to address this issue. The RHS is urging homeowners to rethink their garden design, opting for more robust planting and permeable paving materials that allow water to soak through and support local biodiversity. They're also calling on the government to ensure that every household has access to a garden, regardless of their location or socioeconomic background. As we ponder the state of our gardens and the implications for the natural world, it's worth remembering that these outdoor spaces are not just pretty faces, they're vital ecosystems that support an astonishing array of plant and animal life. In fact, the RHS estimates that UK gardens are home to over 50 million trees, thousands of species, and store a whopping 158 million tons of carbon. So, what can we do to make a difference? For starters, we can all take a closer look at our own gardens and consider making some changes. Perhaps it's time to rip up that old decking or replace the artificial grass with something more, well, natural. By working together, we can create a network of green oases that not only beautify our surroundings, but also help to mitigate the effects of climate change. And that's just the beginning of our journey today on Nature Walk. We'll be right back with more fascinating stories from the natural world, so stay tuned. Welcome back to Nature Walk. I'm your host, David. We're delighted to have you join us again as we explore the fascinating world of nature and the incredible stories that unfold within it. Today, we've been taking you on a journey to different corners of our planet, highlighting the beauty, the challenges, and the triumphs in the natural world. For our middle segment, we're going to dive into a truly captivating story from Indonesia, where conservation efforts are underway to protect one of the most iconic and sensitive creatures of our oceans, the dugong. Deep within the coastal waters of Indonesia, a remarkable sighting has been making waves among marine biologists and conservationists. A juvenile dugong has been spotted in the wild, which is not only a rare treat for observers, but also a significant indicator of the health of our ocean ecosystems. Dugongs, often referred to as sea cows due to their herbivorous diet consisting mainly of seagrass, are incredibly sensitive to environmental changes. Their presence in an area can signify that the waters are clean, the habitat is thriving, and most importantly, these gentle creatures feel safe. The story of this young dugong's appearance is intertwined with the broader narrative of marine conservation in Indonesia. The country, with its vast archipelago, is home to some of the most diverse marine life on Earth, including dugongs. However, these animals face numerous threats, from habitat loss due to coastal development and climate change, to direct harm through entanglement in fishing nets or even consumption in some areas. Conservationists like Sekar Mira, a marine mammal researcher at the National Research and Innovation Agency, are working tirelessly to address these challenges. They're part of a larger effort to implement the Dugong and Seagrass Conservation Project, which aims not only to protect dugongs, but also to preserve their habitats, the seagrass beds that are crucial for marine biodiversity and even act as significant carbon sinks. The appearance of the juvenile dugong is particularly heartening because it suggests that some of these conservation efforts may be bearing fruit. It indicates that the environment in certain areas is supportive enough for dugongs not just to survive, but to thrive, raising their young in safety. This is a testament to the resilience of nature and the impact of dedicated conservation work. However, the journey ahead is long, and challenges persist. One of the significant hurdles is the lack of reliable population data for marine mammals like dugongs in Indonesia. Without accurate numbers, it's difficult to assess the effectiveness of conservation strategies or identify areas that need more protection. To address this, a new national action plan for dugong conservation is being drafted, which aims to standardize monitoring methods and ensure that efforts are coordinated and effective. As we consider the story of the dugong and the seagrass habitats they call home, it's also important to reflect on our own relationship with these ecosystems. Sustainable tourism, for example, can be a powerful tool for conservation, providing economic incentives for local communities to protect their marine environments. However, this must be done responsibly, with strict regulations in place to prevent disturbance to the dugongs and damage to their habitats. The conservation of dugongs and their seagrass habitats is not just an ecological imperative, it also presents an opportunity for community development and economic growth through ecotourism. By protecting these incredible creatures and their homes, we're also safeguarding the future of our oceans and the many benefits they provide to humanity, from food security to climate regulation. As we wrap up this segment of Nature Walk, remember that every story about conservation is a reminder of our interconnectedness with the natural world. The fate of the dugong, like so many other species, is tied to our actions and choices. Let's continue to support efforts that protect our planet's precious biodiversity and work towards a future where creatures like the dugong can thrive. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Nature Walk. Welcome back to Nature Walk. I'm your host, David. As we conclude our journey through the wonders of the natural world today, we're going to delve into a critical issue that affects us all, no matter where we are on this planet. The story I'm about to share with you is both heartbreaking and thought-provoking, highlighting the plight of marine life entangled in what's known as ghost nets in Sri Lankan waters. Imagine vast expanses of ocean, home to an incredible array of marine life, from sea turtles and dolphins to fish and seabirds. Now, picture these creatures unknowingly swimming into a silent killer, abandoned, lost, or discarded fishing gear that continues to trap and harm them long after it's been left behind. This is the grim reality of ghost nets, a problem that not only affects Sri Lanka, but is a global concern. As we explore this issue, let's start with the numbers. In Sri Lankan waters alone, it's estimated that at least 30 turtles are found entangled in ghost nets each year along just one stretch of beach. But turtles aren't the only victims. Fish, dolphins, and seabirds also fall prey to these drifting death traps. The phenomenon is so devastating that it triggers chain reactions, with small fish caught in the gear attracting larger predators, which then become entangled themselves. The term, floating cemeteries, couldn't be more apt for these ghost nets. Research suggests that this isn't just a local problem, but a transboundary issue, with fishing gear lost or discarded in one country's waters ending up in another's. A study focusing on the Maldives found 752 ghost nets had entangled 131 turtles over a 51-month period, and it's estimated these same nets could have ensnared thousands more across the Indian Ocean. Sri Lanka itself contributes significantly to this problem. A pilot study revealed that the country's fishing vessels lose substantial amounts of plastic fishing gear to the sea, with poor weather conditions, ocean currents, and inadequate waste management being major contributors. The result? Ghost nets are now a common sight on Sri Lankan beaches, making up 20% of marine debris found there. This story is a stark reminder of our impact on the natural world. It's not just about the immediate harm caused to these incredible creatures, but also about the broader health of our oceans and planet. As we consider the plight of sea turtles and other marine life caught in ghost nets, we're forced to confront our own role in this narrative, from the fishing practices that lead to such abandonment to our consumption patterns and waste management. So, what can we do? The first step is awareness, understanding the depth of the problem. Then comes action, supporting sustainable fishing practices, advocating for better marine conservation policies, and taking personal responsibility for our plastic use and waste disposal. As we close this episode of Nature Walk, I want to leave you with a challenge. Let's make a difference, one choice at a time. Whether it's reducing our use of single-use plastics, supporting organizations working tirelessly to protect marine life, or simply spreading awareness about issues like ghost nets, every action counts. That's all for today's Nature Walk. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, keep exploring your natural world.